Hi guys, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all who are celebrating now. And we have a good news. It seems that ICM company provided some gift for us, and we can check and we can find on their official website new catalog with their new kits announced for 2025. And I'm very glad to see it because it makes me happy. And it's one of my favorite manufacturers. So we can see here British Bomber on the main page of this catalog. We just quickly review it and review the most interesting things, I guess, here. And also I think, well, maybe that's just my imagination, but the ICM company decided to change a little bit their strategy of models production, but I'm not sure. So helicopters 1-35, this huge enormous Sikorsky helicopter. We can find here several more modifications, civil variants, such as orange helicopter Sky Crane. So who wants this helicopter with a civil decals? Now it would be available in local stores, I hope so. Let's move on, and yes, it seems that ICM wanted to produce more and more helicopters. Okay, 1-32 scale, and this time I guess there would be not so many news. We can find here absolutely new Henschel 123. Several modifications, but actually they were already announced in a catalog for previous year. But it seems only this year they will appear in our shops. And one more kit just with the new decals. So that's all for 1-32, and I think that they moved a little bit, shifted their purposes in production to 1-42 scale, because 1-48, because 1-48 has a lot of interesting stuff. So first of all, one more Junkers, already existing kit, but with the British decals. Maybe for someone it would be useful, but that's not all what we have here. Dornier, this time a new modification with such a cabin, with such a complicated nose and glass part. So two more modifications, K1 and M1. We can see here previous Dornier airplanes, and now we receive two new modifications. I think it could be interesting. But what even more interesting is absolutely new Henschel 129, two absolutely new modifications that was also spotted in the previous year catalog. But I think the same story as with Henschel 123. So this guy, I hope, appears this year, and it is interesting because it's a big kit, 1-48 scale, but not as big as, for example, Henkel 111. So I think this kit might be very interesting. Such a tank destroyer. So absolutely new kit, and one more variation of Bronco aircraft, this time night observation gun system or something like that, so airplane for Marine Corps with such an interesting night camo. Let's move on. Here we can find limited edition of H1G Cobra in the same 48 scale with landing mats. And let's move on. Here we can find, I guess, almost 2 pages dedicated to B-26 Marauders. So what we can find here, new parts, American France bomber, I think the difference in new decals, and several more similar variations, maybe with some differences and with another decals. So beautiful airplane, why not? Previously existing modification with such a cool decals, so you can choose B26 for your purposes. Okay, so helicopters, more helicopters in 1:48 scale, and as was expected, I guess, they produced more modifications and even special Black Hawk Down Operation Gothic Serpent. So the helicopter from famous movie. They knew that we wanted to build such a kit and maybe even such a diorama, and they produced a special kit for this. Also we can see here Defense Intelligence of Ukraine with interesting decals, and such a variation with the Nomad decals. So a lot of helicopters. Why not? The question is whether there would be features provided in 1:48 for this kit. I don't know, but partially I think we'll reveal this question a little bit later. And the happiness for 1:48 scale lovers continuing. So in the previous year we received Bristol Beaufort British bombers, 2-engine airplanes, a lot of variations. This year I think they decided to provide one more British bomber, and it is Handley Page Hampden, British bomber with kinda weak defensive armament. But it is still interesting airplane that played its role in a history. Long tail, big wings and narrow fuselage. I think it could be a very interesting kit on our shelves. So one more totally new aircraft we will receive this year. Okay, the old kits, and yes, we can find here features. They produced more and more features for their airplanes in 48 scale. So we can see here Black Hawk Crew. So if for this kit there would be no in-box features, we at least could bought them as a separate kit. Well, not bad. Okay, let's move on, and here's modern era aircraft planes. So as for new, we can find here a little bit weird and unexpected kit, but it is announced. It is F-16 AM with spec 14. And that's all. No more news, no more variation of this kit, and I think this is simply a repack of existing Revell kit in 1:72 scale. So we will talk about this a little bit later. And MiG-29 already existing. So here one more modifications with some new parts. Okay, let's move on, and it seems that's all for 1:72. Not additional kits with landing mat. That could be good solution for dioramas. Let's move on. 1:72 Soviet and post-Soviet era vehicles. Interesting kit, Leopard. It's old. And to what is new, and what was a big surprise for me, and I hope that that was for 1:35 scale, but unfortunately this new kit's for 1:72. And actually the new Marder, one A3 modification and several Bradleys. I think the story is the same as for that F-16 that we saw earlier there. So this is Revell kits. Well, this Marder for sure, this Bradleys I'm not sure, but I think that they also from Revell. And it seems that ICM decided to expand their cooperation with Revel, so they put something in their boxes from Revel, and instead Revel put something from ICM in their boxes. Why not? For someone it would be definitely interesting, but I'm fan mostly of new kits. So a lot of features, some new kits from previous 2024 year. By the way, I purchased this Flex 38 AA gun, so it will appear in one of the next videos, I hope, when I took it from delivery service. What's new for 1:35 scale? Some chevrons of personal and camouflage of military vehicles, so we can find here chevrons, patches, and some other stuff. I'm not sure whether we can find here pixel decals. That could be very interesting, but I'm not sure. But we can read here camouflage of military vehicles, so maybe this set will include pixel camo for vehicles, which might be interesting solution. So deshicate, heavy machine gun, also unusual, unexpected kit, dragon's teeth, anti-tank obstacles, why not? So it seems that ICM also tried to provide some interesting stuff for diorama lovers. And other news, as for 1:35 scale, one more variation of Hanomag transporter. Previous year we saw this medical vehicle, and this year they provided one more modification, one more variation. Why not? Let it be. Okay, vehicles from previous year. And what's new? We can find here one more French armored car, but in a German service it would be armored command vehicle. And as the same story as was with this vehicle, they took one of their old trucks and put their new Flex 38 entire aircraft gun. Why not? I purchased just this gun, and I also want to upgrade one of my old trucks with such a gun. Okay, French Renault truck in German service, but now we can see it with the kitchen. Why not move forward? What's else new? Monty office caravan. So new parts, new features, I guess. Maybe there would be some stuff for cargo body, I'm not sure. We will have to cross-check when additional news will appear on their official website. And so on. And so on, so variations of already existing kit. Yep, we can also find the Soviet Zil with the DSHK heavy machine gun and a feature. One more variation of already existing Soviet truck, Soviet KAMAZ, but in Ukrainian service with the pixel camo, so we can find this kit somewhere. Here it is, Soviet 6-wheel truck, the KAMAZ, but this time we can purchase it with such decals. Well, why not? And that's all for 1:35 scale, so actually no absolutely new kits, just some, I don't know how to say, modifications or variations of already existing kits. So this time not so many interesting solutions for 1:35 modelers. Okay, what about cars? Maybe here we can find something new and interesting. No, but we can find it in 1:24. So actually the same Ford Model A, but as a gangster's car. We can see here submachine guns such as satchel or a back, so we can maybe build some gangster diorama. And a Soviet license variation of the same fort, but named as Gas A, in German service. Well, interesting solution. Why not? Why not? And we can see here already existing features, submarines, ships, and so on and so on. Unexpected solution for 1 to 350 scale. They decided to combine all their World War I German battleships and combine them in one single pack. Well, I don't know whether this solution would be interesting for someone, because these battleships is very similar. They based on a single kit with some minor differences, but why not? It's better to receive some options than absence of such solutions at all. And as for other diorama sets, they already existed, but they are interesting because you can purchase, I guess, for cheaper price, but in the same moment, several interesting kits. For example, like this Battle of France pack with 2 interesting and unusual kits, or maybe with some German tracks, or even with the King Tiger or T-34. So their diorama sets is kinda interesting, I guess, but actually something new we also can find here. So the same story, but for US trucks, vehicles of the and Miracle on the Marne, and drone hunters. I think here we can see Humvee with one more modification with a DSHK and optics on it. So maybe this Humvee also will appear as a separate kit without features, I don't know, but why not? And that's all, I guess. Acrylic paints, I use them in my work, not bad paints, I guess. And that's all. So what about strategy? I think you have similar thoughts as I have, so they decided, I guess, to produce more airplane kits, especially in 1 to 48 scale, and helicopters as well. And in the same moment, I think less kits and in 1 to 32 scale airplanes, and less kits in 1 to 35 ground vehicles. So maybe such a story would be only for this year. And the second thing that I revealed, but I'm not sure, that they expand their production, their cooperation with the Revell company. Well, that opens new opportunities. You can expand your catalog, your variations of different models on the market. So why not? That cooperation may brings new kits, or better to say old kits but in new boxes. Well, why not? But I'm fan mostly of new models. So I think that's all. Hope you enjoy. As for me, the must-have here, I think this tank buster, German attack aircraft. Also this Dornier might be interesting. The second must-have, I guess, these Black Hawks, why not, especially this one. Handley Page, also interesting kit, and I guess that's all. Other kits not as interesting as the previous one. Well, that's all, guys. I hope you enjoy. Have a nice day, and in next video I think we return to our builds. So, good luck and bye.